Could we be seeing Floyd come out of retirement and return to the ring for another fight? And we dive into the news about Mayweather failing to pay Logan Paul after their fight. Then we question if the Conor McGregor versus Floyd Mayweather fight was fake. In other news, Canelo Alvarez is close to a 2-fight deal, and Tony Yoka claims that his fight with Martin Bakole on May 14th will be personal. Lastly, we'll discuss Ricky Hatton talking about a comeback fight. Is Mayweather returning for another fight, and with money kicks? As you know, Mayweather has been retired for a few years, aside from his comebacks to fight Conor McGregor and Logan Paul, but Floyd teased he'd be returning to the ring. Even though he's 44, he's still a beast in the ring. Although, as far as his recent return to the ring to fight, it's assumed his return is purely for fiscal gain. Who will Floyd be going against? Money Kicks is a well-known YouTuber who has recently turned to boxing, and Mayweather is contemplating going up against him. Mayweather said, "Money Kicks is doing big things, and I like what I'm seeing." He touched on it further, saying, "I spoke with my advisors about Money Kicks, and we don't really know. It will be a very special crowd, not too many people, so if you get the chance to come here, you must know that you are very special." If he continues with the fight, his credibility will be hurt. After the 50-0 boxer fought Jake Paul, he said he wouldn't return to the ring. Money Kicks' real name is Rashed Belhassa, and the YouTuber has over 2 million followers on YouTube and Instagram. He's won 2 amateur fights, but going up against Mayweather would be a big step. Rashed is just 20 years old, so Mayweather would have muscle over him, but Rashed would have speed on his side. There's been some news regarding the fight, and it could be put on hold for now until each camp works out the details. Now, let's get into some news surrounding Logan Paul and Floyd. YouTuber Logan Paul is apparently contemplating filing a lawsuit against Floyd. When the two fought against each other in 2021 at the Hard Rock Stadium, Mayweather didn't pay for the match. Jake, who is Logan Paul's younger brother, said at a press conference legal action could take place. Jake commented on it, saying he really hasn't paid Logan. There's a lawsuit that was opened up last week or 2 weeks ago. They're pressuring him both legally and behind the scenes, but it's embarrassing for Floyd Money Mayweather to not have enough money to pay my brother. Logan added to it, saying, yeah, I guess we're going to have to sue him. And it sucks because once you get into lawsuits, the lawyers make all the money. You can stretch that stuff out forever, and he probably owes him between $5 and $10 million. Logan and Mayweather went 8 rounds with each other when they first fought back in June. It was said their fight sold over $1 million in pay-per-view, but Logan never saw a cent. It was reported Floyd had reached out wanting to do another fight this February, but Logan turned it down because he hadn't been paid for the previous fight. Mayweather hasn't responded to the remarks, but he once said, "Am I the best bank robber? Because I don't know nobody in sports that's my age and can still stick him up like that." Could he feel he isn't entitled to give Paul anything? Only time will tell. Possible that Conor McGregor's and Floyd's fight was fake. The two stars went against each other back in 2017, and some have been skeptical if their fight was even real. After Conor went more rounds than expected, Floyd beat him in the 10th round. Neither have fought professionally ever since their match. The fight was a big success, and they sold 4.3 million buys, which was the second biggest of all time. Even a retired UFC star said the fight was more like a sparring match than an actual match. Nurmagomedov said, "Not many people care about this fight." He spoke on it further, saying, "It was a historical event because of an MMA champion versus a boxing champion, but many people don't even remember what happened inside the fight. It was just like a sparring fight. And for me, it was not a real fight because this guy McGregor is not a real boxer. For me, it was more like a fake fight." Nurmagomedov has a tense rivalry with Conor, and a brawl between the two broke out just outside the octagon after the title fight in 2018. Conor even pressed for another match, but Nurmagomedov retired after 2 more fights. Nurmagomedov's last fight was against Justin Gaethje. In other news, Canelo Alvarez is going to be set with a 2-fight deal. Canelo was offered $85 million for 2 fights. One begins with Dmitry Bivol and then Golovkin. ESPN released the news about the offer, but nothing has been agreed upon or signed yet. The report stated negotiations are approaching the finish line. Canelo is a free agent as of now and has even received an offer from PBC and Showtime for a fight against a middleweight champion named Jermall Charlo. If Canelo decides to accept the offer, that means he will be scheduled to meet lightweight champ Bivol on May 7th. The fight will come on the 7th of May because Canelo wanted to honor his native country by having the fight on Cinco de Mayo weekend. Canelo came to be a 4-weight world champion in 2019 when he moved up from lightweight and won the WBO belt. It's said that if Alvarez surpasses Bivol, he will be defending his 168 titles. Boxing News predicted that Golovkin would take the win over Caleb Plant in Las Vegas. In the 11th round, Canelo was able to finally take down Plant by landing severe blows throughout the game. Canelo ended up coming out on top, landing 9 out of his 14 power shots in the last round. If Canelo decides to remain with PBC, then he will face the challenger Charlo. Going up against Bivol would help out Canelo by chasing the second title. It will be some match. If Canelo decides to take the deal and land the 2 fights, we'll have to wait and see if he decides to accept the offer. Tony Yoka claims his fight on May 14th with Martin Bakole is personal. Back in 2016, the gold medalist Tony Yoka fought Martin Bakole over Filip Hrgovic due to a contract dispute. On social media, Yoka said he'll be fighting Bakole on May 14th in Paris. Yoka, who was 11-0 with 9 knockouts, was supposed to fight Bakole on January 15th, but due to COVID, it was rescheduled. However, Bakole's manager Billy Nelson told ESPN their contract said their promoter and the All-Star Boxing president will decide whether or not the fight will be postponed or canceled. The All-Star president, Abitaboul, said the fight would be on March 5th or 12th, whichever worked for the French network Canal. Bakole's legal team has sent letters to IBF with a petition stating the organizations should rule Yoka was unavailable to participate in the bout due to a guideline that states contracted boxers shouldn't take part in other IBF fights. The IBF ended up ruling in Bakole's favor, and now Yoka will have to wait for the bigger fight. Yoka said, "I had a chance for a fight I've been waiting for years, but thanks to Bakole, we'll have to wait again. May 14th, it's going to be personal." Bakole's manager said, "Martin is looking forward to doing a number on Yoka and show the world he's going to be a force to be reckoned with in the heavyweight division." Former world champion Ricky Hatton discusses a comeback fight. Ricky is talking about a comeback fight against Marco Antonio at 43. Hatton fought in November of 2012 when he got knocked out by Vyacheslav. Nearly a decade later, and Ricky is in talks about making his return. Hatton has been training at a gym in Hyde where he oversees a number of younger fighters, one including Ibi Nadim. Hatton has remained involved by mentoring Tyson Fury and his son Campbell, who takes his first step as a professional. Also, according to The Sun, Hatton is talking with Marco Antonio Barreira over an exhibition bout that may happen later on this year. Ricky is one of the top British fighters in the new era, and his return will spark a lot of interest. More than 30,000 British fans came to Las Vegas to watch Ricky go up against Mayweather back in 2007. Hatton had then returned in 2009 to fight Manny Pacquiao and got knocked out within the first 2 rounds. It's apparent he would take on fights where he needed to shed around 20 pounds. During lockdown, he's doing what he can to shed that 20 pounds by giving up beer and takeout. He stated, "I feel like knocking someone out. I've lost a bit of weight, I'm fitter, and I've been able to see my kids." There you have it, all the news around Floyd's potential comeback. Then we touched on some news surrounding Logan Paul and Floyd. Also, is it possible that the Conor and Floyd fight was fake? Will Canelo accept the 2-fight offer? Tony says his fight on the 14th with Martin Bakole is going to be personal. Let us know what you think and comment your thoughts down below.